Hi, Scott here again in the kitchen. Continuing again with our wonderful farmers market theme, we're going to be using some wonderful sweet treats by Bernadet. Bernadette's a local chef who's got a really interest in chocolates and cakes, so we're going to use some of her wonderful chocolates on this wonderful decadent chocolate cake. The actual chocolate cake is sort of one of her recipes as well. So I've already got it sitting here in front of you so you can see what part of the end item is going to look like. I'm going to actually show you how to make the cake because it's quite a different chocolate cake. So it would be good, give it a good chance to try it at home, but if you have your own chocolate cake recipe, then continue making that. So it's in two parts. So I'm going to put all my ingredients into one bowl. I've got sugar that goes in. I've got 2 raising agents, baking soda and baking powder, some flour, cocoa. So they all go into the bowl. Into a separate bowl, I'm going to add malt vinegar and golden syrup. I'm going to add vegetable oil. We're going to add milk. And we're going to crack into there one wonderful free-range egg from the farmer's market. And we're going to whisk all those together. So we've got our wet ingredients basically and our dry. So we then mix our wet into our dry and then mix all of this together. And give it a really good beat. Then in my other bowl, I have ready to go the egg whites, which I've beaten with a pinch of salt till we reach that nice peak stage. And then we're going to fold the egg whites into the chocolate mixture. I've got a little cake tin here, grease ready to go. You could line it with greaseproof paper. I'm fine this tin here, my cake comes out perfectly. Now as you can see by the finished one, it's quite a thin little cake. The recipe I actually just halved for the show. The recipe that you'll get if you ring in or email Q will make sort of double the size of that. But even looking at that sort of size there, it's still quite a rich cake. So one slither is going to be plenty. So fold it in, pour into the tin, making sure we get all of the mixture out. And that's going to go into a 170-degree oven. Until you can actually pull a skewer out and the skewer's nice and clean. So that's how you make the cake. To finish it off, what I did was I made a chocolate ganache. And you'll get the recipe again, and that's basically 200 grams of milk or dark chocolate and 3/4 cup of cream. Boil the cream and then pour it over the chopped chocolate and whisk until it's smooth. Then you get it to a pouring consistency that you can then pour over the cake. So what I did with the cake, I put it on a cooling rack and then another tray underneath, pour the ganache over the top so it runs through the cooling rack, and then you can lift the actual cake off and put it onto some sort of cake stand. To finish it off, I've also made a little buttercream. So basically, softened butter, icing sugar, and I've just slightly coloured the icing with some ganache that I had left over. So Bernadette's down at the farmer's market as well, where you can buy her sweet treats. She also does wonderful toffee apples for the kids as well. And if you need a special cake made also, she can do that as well. Anything from a wedding cake to a special cake to a kid's birthday cake. So I'm now just going to pipe some little rosettes on top of the cake. So I like the contrast of the 2 different colours of chocolate. And then we'll carefully pick up our chocolates because they're wonderful and shiny, and we're going to stick these chocolates just on top. So there is our wonderful decadent chocolate cake covered in chocolate ganache with Sweet Treats by Bernadet handmade gourmet chocolates on top. So give that one a go, and I look forward to seeing you next time.